replacement kicker in Chase McLaughlin. McLaughlin? I don't know how to pronounce that. McLaughlin.
Here's three names I just want to bring up real quick because it makes me sick. Think of all the dead money sitting out there right now between Nick Foles, Willie Taggart, and the name you just brought up. I mean, wow.
There's a lot. Like, a lot. It's ridiculous.
Oh, boy.
And, and then the Jags decided to move on to old Minshew Mania again. Yep. Roan likes Minshew over Foles. So, you know what that tells me? Foles is probably going to get traded or cut this offseason.
Yeah, from just a little snippet that I read, they're going to try to maybe
to Philly.
Maybe trade him with a draft pick, like a Brock Osweiler situation.
Yes, Nick Foles will be traded this offseason to the...
Say it.
I'm not
Philadelphia Eagles.
My God. What would you do, Dillon, if they moved on from Carson and came back to Big Steak Nick?
Okay, why? Not even going to dignify that with a response.
I want to hear it.
There's no freaking reason, no way in hell I'm moving on from a established franchise quarterback in Carson Wentz. Not doing it.
Carson
that won a ring on the bench.
Why didn't Carson throw 5
Why
touchdowns?
did Philadelphia have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, Jay? It's because Carson Wentz won so many goddamn games that year.
You mean Nick Foles came in the last 3 games and also helped close it out?
Yeah, they ran.
Nick swung that stick, Rick.
When the front 7 for Philadelphia was playing like the front 7 for New York when they beat the undefeated Patriots. That was the key. You think Eli Manning was so goddamn good? No.
Where's Carson Wentz statue? I want to see it. We're doing it. We're pissing him off. Dillon, rant. Oh, God.
There's so much. Honestly, if you just go to any Eagles, like real Eagles fan page, there's so much tape of how Carson Wentz is not the problem this year that I don't need to say anything.
I don't think he is. I think I just like giving you crap.
He's not the
Fair
problem.
Enough.
He's the gigantic problem. Did you see him throw that, just terrible pass after terrible pass? Kirk Cousins looked better last night than he did the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but didn't Wentz have 4 touchdowns, though, in that game for Philly?
He had 3. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't Wentz that just gave up touchdown after touchdown to Devontae Parker and
Mills
company.
And Darby.
And a freaking shovel pass from a punter to a kicker.
Is there any more?
The first time, and speaking of which, there's news right there. Mr. Sanders, the kicker for Miami, first time since 1977, a kicker caught a touchdown pass from his own punter.
Shout out to Miami coaching staff. Good play.
Pull out all the stops, man. Like Philly's trying to stay in the playoff hunt, and they pull that ugly page out of a playbook it was probably on some napkin, stuck to the back of the, where'd this come from? Oh. Hey, guys, we should do this. It literally probably came from that, Dillon.
I would like to clarify, ugly as that loss was, Philadelphia still in the playoff hunt.
So is Washington Redskins because it's the NFC least.
Different story.
No, the Washington Redskins, if they went out, or if they at least get to 3 more wins and get to 6 wins and beat y'all and the Cowboys and still lose 1, they win the NFC East.
Well, I mean, if you want to get into a game of probabilities, we could do that, but we only have so much time.
Okay, you got any more news updates so that we can take a break and get into the fantasy files?
Yeah, we can go ahead and move on. Oh, there is one more, but it's a funny one.
Go for it.
RG3 had a quote today, and he said he thinks in a year from now he's going to be a starting QB for a franchise next year.
Cleveland Browns.
No. Why would they start
Wait,
RG3
repeat?
over
Who are we
Baker?
talking? Oh.
Why?
Arizona Cardinals.
No. You just talked about two QBs that just got drafted number 1 overall.
Miami Dolphins.
That's a possibility.
New Orleans Saints.
No, because they have Teddy B.
Green Bay Packers.
Teddy B is a free agent.
All right, we're going to move on to the next segment since Jay's being a turd right now, folks. I apologize for that. Next segment.
Oh, we're not going to break?
Haven't had enough.
Apparently not. I thought we
want to
were.
Visit NFL Addictions on Facebook.com for all of your NFL banter and chatter. It's not a trash talk site, so keep it clean and keep it cordial. That's NFL Addictions on Facebook.com. And if you still got an itch to scratch when you're done with that, you want to visit Raz Addictions on Facebook.com for their version of the raffle for all kinds of cool prizes, even a chance at winning some cash. You buy a $10 raffle ticket for a chance at winning $100. That's a chance at making 10 times your money. It don't get any better than that. That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com for a chance at all kinds of cool prizes. Tell them what you've won, Dave.
I've won everything from tailgating barbecue sets. That I have a Packers one that I won, folks, for $400. I put $40 down on the spot. I won it, and it was out of 20 spots. It's really worth it. I've also won helmets that are signed. I've won banners that are signed. I've won memorabilia rings. I've won footballs that are signed and other Packers knickknacks because that's my team. But go ahead and check them out. Cheap, affordable prices for certified, authentic stuff.
That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com. Go there, play, and win. And as always, you can follow us on Twitter at First and Goal Pod, myself at UPJ33, Dave is at Steak and Cheese, and the fantasy wonder himself, Dillon, at Dillon Busby1. Email us at firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com with all your football and Packer questions and comments, and you just might find yourself making the show live. That's firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com. And we're back, and it's time for that Dillon.
Love
Dillon?
it. Great introduction. All right, let's get into
Turn your
balled
camera
out.
on, Jay, so we can get signals.
Yeah, come on, Jay. We love your face. Let's get into a little bit of who balled out and who called out for Week 13 in the NFL. First, you cheeseheads are going to love it. Your boy, Aaron Rodgers, going off against the New York Giants. 21 for 33, 243, 4 tutties, as Dave likes to say. Even threw in 24 rushing yards, the old boy.
So technically it's Jay's.
All right, Jay's tutties. Love it. That's going to be his fantasy team name next year.
Muddy's tutties?
So that's A-Rod having a little fun in the snow. He gets to play at home this week, so that'll be even better. Ryan Fitzpatrick, pains me to say, certainly had himself a day against my Eagles. 365 yards, 3 beautiful touchdowns, 2 of them to Devontae Parker. He has a nice upcoming schedule. The New York Jets, New York Giants, and Cincinnati Bengals on the slate for old Fitzpatrick. He might be winning people fantasy championships this year, which is hilarious.
Did I not say he would steal Deshaun Jackson's jacket and what is it? And his necklaces and his sunglasses?
All of those things.
He stole all of them.
That was such a great look. Deshaun Watson did it, folks. Everyone was nervous how he would do against New England. Fortunately, he played at home, not at Foxborough. 234 yards, 3 touchdowns later. Deshaun Watson had himself a day. Also, interestingly enough, had himself a receiving touchdown, Dave.
Yeah, old D-Hop decided to do a little option.
And what was supposed to
West
be
Virginia days.
a lateral ended up being a forward pass, oddly enough. And Deshaun Watson gets himself a receiving touchdown, which was just awesome. Mitch Trubisky gets it done once again. Facing those Lions, he had himself a day, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Bears played Dallas at home this week on Thursday night. So Trubisky will definitely be a risky Trubisky if you're planning on rolling him out this week. Tom Brady had himself a decent game for the old boy. 3 touchdowns against Houston. Carson Wentz threw for 3 touchdowns himself against the Miami Dolphins in that wonderful game we just talked about. Jared Goff. Hey, guys, we all doubted Jared Goff, but when you're playing Arizona, you get her done. 424 yards and 2 touchdowns. Finally, Kyle Allen, 2 touchdowns against those Washington Redskins. Also had a rushing touchdown. Moving into running backs, guys, let's talk about James White. Had 79 rushing yards on 14 carries, which was pretty uncharacteristic. You Sony Michel owners were pretty frantic about that and what the hell is going on when James White is carrying the ball more than Michel. Also picked up 98 yards on 8 catches, guys. 11 targets for James White in this game, 2 touchdowns. Upcoming slate is pretty good for the Patriots. I really do like this next matchup. We'll talk about starts and sits later on, but James White at home against the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be a great play this upcoming week. You had Darius Geis go off against the Carolina Panthers to the tune of 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. That highlight reel stiff arm that we talked about earlier was just one of my favorite plays from the entire year. Geis is such a mad runner, and although he's in division, I definitely can't wait to see him play for years to come. Raheem Mostert, boy, to the chagrin of all Tevin Coleman owners out there, Raheem Mostert had himself a day against the Baltimore Ravens of all teams. 146 yards and a tutty for Raheem. Got a decent upcoming schedule. Derrick Henry, yeah boy, Dave just keeps getting it done. The D train keeps rolling. 149 yards and a touchdown against the Colts. Titans are going to ride him all the way into and through the playoffs, I believe. They'll probably win
the losers bracket in our league because of Derrick Henry.
You are. That's good consolation. Miles Sanders against those Dolphins. 83 yards on the ground, 5 catches, and a receiving touchdown. I do like the upcoming schedule for Miles Sanders and the Philadelphia Eagles as a whole. He's got the Giants and Washington Redskins the next 2 games. Peyton Barber, not Ronald Jones, had 2 touchdowns this last week against Jacksonville Jags. That's right. Todd Gurley churned out another 95 yards and a tutty against those Arizona Cardinals. And Devin Singletary finally getting it done against Dallas last Thursday. Had himself a receiving touchdown, which was nice to see. Josh Allen doesn't have to throw the ball 50 yards downfield every play. Moving into wide receivers, guys, another name that hurts me to say, but I have to because he had such a damn good week. Devontae Parker with 7 fantastic catches. I mean, some of them are routine.
His name like 8 times so far.
Dude, in the past few weeks, I would love a Devontae Parker, like just one of those clickers, like a pitch count. Just his name just comes out of my mouth.
Devontae Parker to Green Bay after in the offseason?
Ha! You wish. They got him through the next year. I do believe, I could be wrong, but I believe he's signed through the next year. Yeah, boy, goes up, skies for balls, takes it right out of guys' hands, runs right by you, just whatever you need. Devontae Parker's been getting it done these last few weeks, but did get 2 touchdowns on Eagles on 10 targets. Another guy who's going to win you fantasy championship games. You got to like the Miami Dolphins schedule upcoming. Kenny Galladay with David Blau at the helm, still getting it done. 158 yards and a touchdown. Upcoming schedule is pretty nice. At Minnesota, and then you got Tampa Bay at home. Alshon Jeffrey, guys, probably one of the most frustrating guys in all of fantasy football, and really in all of football in general, because I know when I see Alshon catch a ball, he's going to miss the next 2 plays, and then he's going to come back out, catch the ball, miss the next 2 plays, come back out and catch a touchdown. So it's just really interesting the way Alshon rolls. I'm not sure how many times he's been shot up with cortisone, but it's probably more painkillers than blood that runs through Alshon Jeffrey anymore. Robert Woods had himself a day. 13 catches, 172 yards on a ridiculous 19 targets, guys, against Arizona. That's just crazy. Cooper Kupp also getting it done against Arizona with 65 yards and a touchdown. Cortland Sutton, another guy that just keeps getting it done with different quarterbacks at the helm. He's had Joe Flacco. He's had Brandon Allen and now Drew Lock scoring 2 touchdowns this last week against the Chargers. Did you guys see that ridiculous one-hander? Yeah, Mike
Williams keeps making these sick catches every single week, man.
Well, Mike Williams, but Cortland Sutton I'm talking about against
Casey
Hayward.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Wow.